We're not hearing you speak, Tambak. I see you are muted, Tambak. Is that right?
Thì Tâm đang nói bên phòng tiếng Việt.
I heard that. Interpretation.
Okay, now can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, yes, I thank you. Thanks for that tip about the interpretation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Sorry, hi is translating what? Vietnamese to English. I see. Right. Good. Yes, I heard that. Was that you, Tiny Tom? Yes, I heard that. Oh, hi, was it? Sorry. Right. Yes, hi, that's you, isn't it? Yes. And Tiny Tom, we haven't heard you yet. She's not hearing. Right. Not hearing anything.
Hải ơi, cậu đang nói bên phòng tiếng Việt.
No, not me.
mình đã chào Achaan rồi.
ไม่ได้ยินเสียงอะไรเลยนะคุณเอ็ม
Chị không có nóiค่ะอาจารย์
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์สวัสดี
ส
ค
วั
รั
ส
บ
ดีค่ะอาจารย์
Hi, when you translate, could you let us know at the start who is speaking? Because otherwise we won't know. Thank you.
Dạ Hà cũng chưa đó cô giáo chưa. Em coi trong nhóm có ai hỏi gì không thì lát thì Hà tiếp tục. Dạ chưa chuẩn bị. Vâng ạ.
Mình hỏi thì nó liên quan lại hơi bị thuật một chút nên là sửa lại. Thì câu hỏi của mình sẽ là dục nó đóng vai trò gì trong những cái yếu tố làm trưởng ấy. Yếu tố làm trưởng thì có dục, nó đóng vai trò như thế nào trong cái bốn.
So first of all, chanda is interest. Like now, there is chanda to listen to the Dhamma. And as we know, the interest can be wholesome, kusala, or unwholesome, akusala. For example, when there's interest in the food we're eating, usually it's chanda with attachment to this kind of food or that kind of food. When we're annoyed and there's interest in showing the annoyance, there's chanda, akusala chanda with dosa at those moments. But now, when there's interest to understand more about the truth, there can be wholesome kusala chanda, wholesome interest in listening, understanding more. So chanda develops, wholesome chanda develops with understanding. The more understanding, the greater the chanda, the interest to hear and consider again and again. So it becomes more and more significant as a wholesome factor. So at moments of seeing and hearing now, no interest at those moments. But after seeing and hearing, chanda can arise to take an interest in the subject matter in a wholesome or unwholesome way, such as when thinking now. Or I can ask Hằng, what kind of chanda is there now at this moment?
Có cái sự quan tâm đến tìm hiểu nó phát muốn biết hiện giờ.
Is it kusala or akusala interest?
Tại khoảnh khắc của hiểu về sự thật là sự kiện mà tại khoảnh khắc của hiểu biết
Moments
thì
of just
nó là sự kiện.
enjoying or being attached to hearing the answer or collecting the detail or pinpointing the reality, then attachment pops in and then it's akusala chanda. So it just arises for a moment. We cannot just assume that because we're listening to Dhamma that it's wholesome chanda at each moment, because actually, as we know, the subtle attachment arises so quickly after seeing and hearing. So chanda, kusala and akusala chanda at different moments. And if we try to find it or try to work it out, then it's the attachment again, the clinging with the idea of I that wishes to know, wishes to find it. So it's daily life, it's now interest in the picture, interest in the simultaneous translation. So many moments of interest with attachment in between the moments of understanding with wholesome chanda. And I think you asked Hằng about what about chanda as a leader or a key role. What are you referring to here?
Rồi ạ.
What about now?
Đúng rồi, cái
This-
adipati.
So, because now when thinking about the Dharma, as we know, the chanda can be predominant. So when it's adipati, then it is predominant. So we listen predominantly because of interest, or maybe predominantly because there's strong effort or energy to listen, or maybe because of strong understanding. So now different moments of interest as being strong when we really appreciate the opportunity to listen to the answer and to consider further. At other moments, the interest may not be so strong.
Như vậy cái tính chất, con muốn hỏi thêm là cái tính chất mạnh mẽ đó nó làm riêng cho các pháp khác hay là nó rõ ràng để cho tuệ và chánh niệm có thể hiểu nó.
If there's trying to find out what is predominant now. That is not the understanding of Chanda or the understanding of seeing. That is I trying to find out, trying to check whether it is the Chanda that is predominant, different from moments of understanding what appears now, such as the seeing now, or the hearing now, or the thinking now. So quickly, we're lost in the story that is thought about, the story of Chanda and what is predominant at this moment. And it's the idea of I, my interest, or my effort, or my understanding. So the understanding is always just of what appears now. If there's thinking about Chanda, the thinking is real. The hearing is real. The seeing is real. And there can be thinking about Chanda or thinking about any reality. So it helps to consider that Chanda now can be kusala or akusala, and they can be beginning to understand more about its characteristic. But that is different from trying to pinpoint it or trying to know whether it is Chanda that is predominant at this moment. So it's subtle path, because the I comes in so quickly each time. Perhaps either John or Jan would like to add more.
Please tell me what is going on now. And any yes, but what I'd like to talk about is what is there going on right now.
This is a question for Hằng.
In order to understand what
Hiện
is
giờ
there
đang
as
có suy nghĩ về những gì đang được nghe.
is there Chanda to think about it? Or it's not as interesting at all? But does Chanda appear, or what is there? Because even thinking, there's Chanda to think about such and such by conditions. Why doesn't no thought like that, only this, thinking about, and so on? See, there must be conditions. Even it's there now, it's not known, right?
Đúng như vậy ạ.
Okay. Will you tell me what is going on now? Nothing? Or what?
Hằng, I think you can speak in English and then they can translate to Vietnamese, because then it's easier for Ajahn to understand you.
I heard that you are talking about Chanda, but in order to really understand it, it has to be this moment. So now, please, what is going on now? Nothing or something or whatever situation is? Anything?
Yes, it's still something. Con vẫn nghĩ là có một cái gì đó.
I don't know whether you understand me or not. What I'm saying.
Achaan, you're asking, is there anything or something or nothing, right?
No, I ask, what is there now going on and on and on?
I think it's thinking is going on and on and on.
So is the chanda to think like that, not the other thing?
Yeah.
So chanda is at any moment unknown. Chanda does not arise with only 20 kinds of citta. The 18 ahetuka without hetu, and 2 ignorant moha mula citta. That's all. So now, when they are those moments, there must be chanda, even thinking about this or that, because of chanda is there. Just to think about that. Even right now, the thinking of the question is by chanda, right?
Yeah.
So no matter what is there, when it does not show up, when there's no understanding, it's just the idea about it. So what is chanda? When we talk about chanda, what is it? See, beginning to understand, what is it? One question, one answer to another answer, and to another answer can be the way to understand chanda. So what is it? See, in order to understand chanda, what is it? Is it a reality?
Yes, the reality.
Is
The
it
same.
a life? If there's no hearing about it at all, can there be known that each move, there must be chanda? Is it true? Why does one get up? Why does one sit? Is there no chanda to sit, to stand up, to do anything? That's
Cannot, yeah.
unknown.
Sorry, Achaan, please go ahead.
But it's there. That's why understanding that even thinking different by conditions, we think differently by different conditions, but there must be chanda to think about that, or to think of someone, or to think of to do things and so on. It's there unknown. That's why we learn to understand the truth. What is it? It's a reality. It's the interest of the will to do. Without it, can there be getting up? No chanda to get up. But at moment of getting up, it's there. Unknown. Because even what is there, so many things goes on rapidly from moment to moment, unknown. That's why we begin to understand what is there in a day, even right now. Why seeing does have chanda arising together, and why all the 18 ahetuka citta do not have chanda arising with them, or even ignorance. Why there's no chanda to be ignorant? See, learn to understand that any moment when they are not those citta, there must be chanda. Chanda to see, chanda to turn left, chanda to turn right, chanda to think about this. See, it's there. But it does not show up. So someone might think that I have no interest of that or this, about that or this at all. Even at that moment, there is chanda not to be interested. I am not interested. I'm not interested in this, see? But there is interest not to, see? So after hearing about Chanda, that any moment besides those moments, the 20 jittas, Chanda is there for sure. Is there Chanda at moment of Lopa? Is
Yes,
there,
I think.
see, is there Chanda as well at moment of anger?
Yes.
See, that's why there can be the understanding of whatever is there. There is Chanda when it's not seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, those 20 jittas. But it does not show up until I like to do this, I like to paint, I like to cook. See, Chanda, it can arise with either kusala citta or akusala or kriya citta. Arhatas have different chandas. Is that some understanding to begin to be aware or understanding, even thinking that it's chanda at any movement. Speaking, see, thinking. Is that chanda to cry?
Yes, even we don't think about we have chanda to cry, but it's still there. Right?
And at moment of crying, what can be known? See, it's there. It depends on what can be known, even is there. Otherwise, there cannot be any understanding of what is there at all. That's right. No matter we learn about different kinds of realities, but what is there which appears that can be known? What can be known at moment of crying?
We just think about the dukkha vedana is an unpleasant feeling only, not another thing.
Do we have to think of dukkha vedana? Or at moment, it's quite very, very sad or unpleasant feeling, so much that it can condition the tears to come out? Or do we have to think that it's conditioned by such and such at that moment, the unpleasant feeling is there by what it's for? But at that moment, the feeling is so very strong enough. At moment of crying, sobbing, see? Is that chanda?
Still there.
See, when it does not show up, how can we think about it? Only feeling, so very unpleasant feeling is there to be known. It's different from other moment when it's just very slight irritation, see? But it's moment of so strong, unpleasant feeling. No one wants to cry, but it's there by conditions. And there is chanda to even to cry. So all realities are so very subtle, very noble too, by its subtlety. So in order to understand the truth of reality, it has to be at the moment when it's there. There must be unpleasant feeling at moment of crying, but it's not known that it's just a feeling, a kind of feeling. Even it is appearing, see, very, very unpleasant, but no idea, no understanding of it as just a reality. And there must be the truth of each reality right then. It can be seeing, thinking, touching, and many, many moments are there unknown. That's why learn to understand what is there, little by little. Now there is the understanding of there is chanda any moment when it is not seeing, hearing, smelling, as we have studied. So thinking is a chanda.
Yes.
See, it's the moment of understanding chanda. If it does not appear, there is thinking. And what is thinking is not known yet. So how can there be understanding of that which arises with thinking when thinking is not known as it is? Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Is there chanda now?
Yes, at the moment of thinking.
Does it appear?
No, not yet.
Even when it appears, it's not known. See? Because sometimes it's just thinking about the story of it in order to talk about it or to understand it, to even thinking about it. It's not just a word, but it's there. A reality, it has its characteristic, which is there to be known. So in truth, what is there? Crying, see? It's the understanding of what is there as it is, little by little. There is seeing as well. Seeing at moment of crying, hearing is there sometimes as well. That's why learn to understand the characteristic which appears now, like seeing, so noble, so subtle. The reality which arises each moment experiences an object, but the object depends on what is there by conditions to be realized or to be experienced. So now, are we now studying Dhamma, the real Dhamma, that which is now appearing is Dhamma. When there's some understanding of what chanda is, it can be conditioned at moment when chanda is there to understand it, that it's there only when it's there and then gone. Never to return, but any moment without those moments we have talked about. Chanda is there, depending on whether it's time or condition to understand it or not. So even to understand what is there cannot be controlled depending on a moment by conditions. Is that true? Just to understand the truth, that's the way, the right understanding, the noble right understanding is there.
Achaan, could you elaborate more about the chanda when it becomes adipati, one of or adipati?
You mean at level of patipati? Or what?
Sorry, Achaan, I don't know.
Pardon, say it again.
Chanda
Jan,
is a
she's asking about chanda as one of the four adipati dharmas, chanda, virya,
Yes.
panya, and chitta. So she's asking about chanda as the predominant
Yes.
condition, the predominant dharma.
And what is iti and pada? What for what? No aim, or what? Chanda in a day, reading newspaper, watching TV, and so on, is that itipada? So there has to be the understanding of what is iti and what is pata, the step, the level of understanding to be able to attain what is that? Iti, what is that? What does it mean? Not just hearing the 4 words, the 4 itipata, and just want to understand it. But what is it for? What is the point? What is the goal? What is the destination? To attain by iti, not just ordinary understanding about the words and the story. So what is meant by itipada? So there can be the understanding what realities are itipada.
Achaan, I think there are 2 terms, adipati and idipada. So I think idipada is a lead to the enlightenment. Is with another factor to lead to the enlightenment. But adipati is including the akusala dhamma, right, Achaan? Please elaborate more about it.
What chanda is adipati and what chanda is itipada?
So I think chanda is the adipati, is including the akusala chanda, right, Achaan?
Any moment when it's there as adipati, the head, the chief. Adipati is the head or the chief of that moment. No matter what is done, there must be chanda to be done. Right? Adipati.
So could you please elaborate more about the head or the chief of each moment?
Because without chanda as adipati, can it be done? If you like to plant a tree, but you do not do it at all, can there be a tree grown? So, is there no chanda to understand the truth of this moment? Can there be moment of hearing, considering, to understand what is true and what is not true?
No, Achaan.
As chanda arises with almost each citta, that's why chanda is different by its function at that moment. As adipati, I would like to do this at all. I would like to help to share the understanding with the other. Without chanda, can it be done?
No.
And what is now? See, we think about that is not here now. But what is now? In order to understand chanda, that chanda is different each moment by conditions. So now everyone knows by oneself what is one's chanda. See, I like to swim very much because I cannot swim. But even right now or anytime, I cannot swim because I do not try to swim or learn to swim. There is only chanda. Is it itipata or itipatipati? It's just very little chanda, just like, only wanting, not strong enough. Would you like to play piano
No, Achaan.
or any kind of musical?
Yes, I like the other one.
What can you now do? See, can you paint? Do you like painting?
No, Achaan.
See, so now it's your understanding whether there is chanda or no chanda strong enough to be known. Because even just talk in these manners or the way around, by chanda, see, chanda is there. Do you have chanda to be a tailor, dressmaking?
No, Achaan.
But even so, there is chanda at that moment when it's not the 20 chittas. So now, understanding a little more that chanda is there in daily life, unknown. Even it's there without understanding the truth of what is there as it is. It's not yet developed enough to understand the characteristic which experiences the object with chanda. See, there must be the object at that moment of chanda. But no understanding of the object and no understanding of that which experiences the object. So how can there be the understanding of chanda? Because seeing right now sees. See, there is the understanding of there is seeing because there is that which is seen. Only the idea about seeing is a reality. No shape, no form at all. It arises just to experience. Consider that. Just arise to experience. That's all. That's all. And it's there now. Experience is what is there as object. Nothing can appear without that which experiences it. That's why in life, no matter what life, there must be the object appearing by that which arises, experiencing it, so it appears. But no understanding of that which experiences the object. So what about chanda to experience this and that? See, lopa, cling to it, but chanda is interest. Different realities cannot be known without the teachings of the Buddha, stage by stage, about what is there now. The reality which experiences the object, that it can be understood, but it's there, not directly experience the truth of it, that it's there. Because no matter at any time, only that object which is experienced appear. Is that true? Noble subtlety. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Achaan.
I think that often when we hear about Chanda as one of the four adipati dharmas, one of the four predominant dharmas, we immediately think of a situation. We think about, oh, when shopping, for some, Chanda is predominant, whereas for others, maybe Virya is predominant, or we think when listening to the Dharma, Chanda is predominant. But actually, this is just talking and thinking about conventional situations. In fact, Chanda is predominant just for a moment when it's strong and obvious and appears. So it's not about different situations, but it's just about the reality arising for a moment and falling away. And the same with the other adipati dharmas. Otherwise, it's just a story about, oh, in this situation, this is predominant. In this situation, that is predominant. Even the person who loves to play a musical instrument, like Mr. Zhao loves to play the guitar. But sometimes I'm sure he has to practice when he's tired and there may not be such strong interest. There has to be more effort. So whatever we're talking about is conditioned dharma arising for a moment and then gone, not my interest or anyone else's interest. And as Ajahn stressed, it arises with almost every citta, chanda, but usually it's not strong enough to appear or be known at all. But it's at each moment now, no matter whether we're feeling a bit bored or a bit sleepy or have a lot of attachment to what is heard or strong interest of understanding, chanda is there at each of the moments, sometimes stronger and predominant, other times not.
So Sarah, when it's become a adipati, this the other factor follow it, how is better understand about the adipati?
So the other factors, you mean like the virya and citta and the panya. So they arise together. So at moments when panya arises, then of course there is chanda interest. Of course there must be virya, and citta is always the chief in experiencing. So we're talking about the arising of dharmas, different cetasikas arising together with the citta and falling away. But sometimes chanda may be stronger, sometimes less in a kusala or akusala way. And same with virya, sometimes there's stronger effort, sometimes less effort. And the same with panya, sometimes just a little, sometimes stronger. That's all. Like for the burglar who's robbing the bank, strong interest, strong virya, no panya adipati at those moments. All by conditions, just different dharmas, not my interest or my virya at all. And I think, as Ajahn was hinting at, if there's no understanding of thinking now, is there really any understanding of the mental factors, the cetasikas that arise with it? If the thinking is taken for my thinking, my experiencing, then for sure the cetasikas like the chanda and the virya will be taken for my interest, my effort. So it comes back again and again, what appears now, thinking now, seeing now, hearing now. Otherwise, if there is any wish to understand or be aware of chanda now, then is the wishing, the lobha that is strong. the
Thank you, Sarah.
akusala chanda with that lobha. In the Chinese discussion earlier today, the entire discussion was about understanding thinking now, because often people would like to understand, well, what about the Chaitana now? Or what about the Virya now? Or what about this? What about that? Is it this way? Is it that way? But what about just understanding thinking at this moment, thinking about Chanda, thinking about Chaitana, thinking about this and that? So usually we're just lost in the story or trying to pinpoint the Chaitasikas or the details and forget about just understanding thinking now, the Chitta which thinks about any topic, any reality, any concept at all, not self at all, by conditions. So always back to this moment, what appears now. Even, have you translated to Vietnamese? All under control. So even at moments of doubt, ignorance with doubt, just not knowing what is experience, wondering what is true, no interest at all. It's just, there's no attachment, no clinging, no aversion, just ignorance and uncertainty, no interest in the object at those moments at all. There's no enjoying the object of doubt and there's no aversion to it. It's just not knowing.
Hình như đang lệch, chị Tâm đang ở lệch Zoom.
With different moments, moments of clinging, one wishing to find out the answer, moments of curiosity with attachment and with akusala chanda, and then moments of just not knowing, uncertainty, different, no interest at those moments. So we can see as soon as there's the interest to find out or to know the answer or to work out the detail, then there is interest instantly at those moments. So different moments. And that's why I mentioned it's not about a situation. It's not about, oh, when I'm just not understanding anything for half an hour. It's not like that, because it's just for a moment of ignorance, a moment of doubt, a moment of wishing to find out, however slightly. And as we know, the moments of lobha, of clinging, can be so very subtle, quite unknown. even at those moments when the clinging is asava, chanda is there, so very, very slightly.
Also, I think it needs to be added also, Tampak, that when you mentioned sometimes one, are you hearing me? Are you
I
hearing
can
me?
hear
Sam?
you.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to add a brief comment that you mentioned moments of wondering about something. That is doubt in the conventional sense, but not the doubt that is the mental factor, which is doubt about the something to do with the true nature of reality, the way things are in the absolute sense only. So conventional doubt about this and that and wondering is just normal thinking with a kusala. Yeah.
That kind of thinking maybe with aversion, and then chanda is there at those moments. So the cittas follow so quickly. And that's why I mentioned if the thinking it doesn't appear and isn't known, then how will that those subtle moments of chanda be known? Or because they follow so quickly.
Chanda is chanda no matter when it arises, right? At what stage it is still chanda. So now, what kind of chanda is this moment in order to talk about another level of chanda? So is chanda now itipada or atipati? Just try to measure it, but in truth, it's there in daily life. It can be known that it's different level. For example, chanda now to move, who knows that it's there. But when there is a little stronger chanda to do something, see, chanda is there, can be known. Without understanding is there. Nobody can change the characteristic of chanda because chanda is the interest to that object. And only chanda without viriya, see, can it be done? That's why we talk about each reality as it is, that they have to arise together. They are different. They perform their functions. They cannot perform the other's function at all. That's why instead of thinking about chanda as itipata, but what about now? Is it now itipara? Because we would like to talk about itipata, but in order to understand it, it has to be understood right now. Is chanda now itipata? See, otherwise, even it can be known only when it's there, but now it's there. So what level of chanda can be known? Is it santitipada or only chanda? So is any moment of chanda arising is be the itipada? Any moment, even right now, Is it Itipata, Chantitipata, or only Chanda? So how can it be Pata, Iti, to achieve that which is not this moment? Without Chanda, there cannot be any move towards that goal or achievement at all. That's why learn to understand what is there before the word. But when there is the word, you try so hard to understand it. But even right now, consider whether there is different degrees of chanda, see, in a day. In order to understand it as chanda more, a little more, whether it's what level in a day is the point of some chanda or any chanda, or no point, just interested in that only. That's all. Instead of interested in writing or painting, speaking, thinking. So understand that is not Chantitipata, it's not Itipata. And when it is the activity, see, because at moment of chanda, there is also virya and chitta, depending on whether there is panya or not. But when it arises with the others, what is activity, the chief, the head, the leader? Is it virya or chanda? Sometimes the work has to be done, but not enough chanda, so it takes virya to do it. But when there is chanda, chanda is predominant, doing with interest, see, and it has to be done. Not much interest in it, but it has to be done. So it needs virya, and even there is chanda without virya, that cannot be done. And panya, see, is it now the chief, the leader, or there is chanda to know, but panya is not there yet, or it's so very little, but chanda is so much appearing that it would like to have such and such knowledge. So it's daily life. If we don't mind the word, there can be the understanding of the degrees of realities. By then, when we come across the word, there can be the understanding what is there at what level in a day at such moment. For example, now, what is the goal of listening, considering about what is there? No goal, no destination, or what? And without chanda, can it reach the goal? So it's daily life. In truth, no word at all. So what is moment of thinking about word? See? Is there only chanda just to hear, but not to consider carefully? So this is the degrees of chanda in the day. Without understanding, can there be moment of realizing the truth? without any chanda, not listen to the words of truth at all in a day, just play around. It's a chantipata. It can be atipati, but it cannot be itipata because there's no goal at all to achieve. If the goal is right understanding of what is there now, it must be chanda, see, to listen carefully, to know that what is there is so very subtle. Even it's there, it is not known from eons and eons ago, and even right now, until hearing about it, considering the truth of it, little by little, it's there, but it's covered up by ignorance and chanda of other things, not chanda to understand what is there, strong enough to be itibata, to gain a little understanding from moment to moment with patience and virya. See? So when virya is needed, chanda is there, but virya appears. So all dhammas, depending on condition, to have virya or chanda, what degree, even right now. What is more? There is chanda and there is virya as well. But what is there now more or appear even a little bit? It appears while the other does not appear. Is there now virya? Listen carefully. That there must be chanda. But chanda at that moment is not the chief or the leader. It can be known little by little, but it has to begin from moment of understanding what is there. See, even the question, what is there? We can ask when nothing appears at all, very quiet, when no one speaks at all. What is there? See, what is there? And what is there at moment of seeing? This is the way to understand the moment, present moment, right now. But it's not just a moment. What is there? See, a moment when no one speaks at all. What is there? A moment. Or then or now, no one speaks. What is there? Is there nothing? Or what is there? Unknown. So what is the answer when no one speaks at all? So quiet. What is there? Because there is the moment when it's quiet, silent. So what is there? Yes, is it known? See, even it's there appearing, no understanding of it. When one is asked, there can be doubt. What is there? When nothing appears. When nothing appears, what is there? We talk about it, we learn about it, and it's there. To ignorance when there is no understanding. So only Panya can understand. No matter what is there, it's right understanding of the truth, which is so noble, so subtle, because nothing appears. but it's there. Is there such moment in life, even while we are talking? Right now. Is there virya? Is there chanda? See, even two words is different, whether there it is or there is not. What is there? When nothing appears at all, it's there. What is it? And this is the beginning to think about the truth of that which is there. Is there any answer? See, it's there, but no understanding of it. Ignorance. No understanding of that which appears. And is there chanda at moment of ignorance arising? See, if it's not taught about its truth, who knows? At moment of ignorance, there is no chanda to be ignorant. Is there anyone would like to be ignorant? Because at moment of wanting, it's not ignorant, it's wanting. See? That's why learn to understand the reality. Do not think about the term, about the characteristic and function and so on to answer. That is not the understanding of the reality which is there. As we have heard, as we have learned, and it's there. That's why without the firm confidence of the pariyatti, there's no condition for patipatti. And at moment of beginning to be aware, is the chanda, is the virya, what appears, even some other realities are there, but what can appear only one at a time. To be known that is there, a reality which experiences the object by different conditions to be different ones. The chief and that which is virya and that which is chanda and that which is feeling and that which is memory. See, all are realities, no one there at all. And this is about the noble path from moment of understanding, gradually from moment to moment. Each moment of understanding is very important. Without it, there cannot be the development of understanding. So each moment is very important because it conditions the next to be firmer and clearer when it's there. But not now, not at the beginning, but it develops gradually, little by little, by conditions, without understanding. How can there be awareness? Because we just use the term being aware in our own sense or understanding, but not the truth, not the absolute truth of what is there as awareness. So now a little more understanding of Chanda can continue until it conditioned moment of understanding what it's doing, what is done by Viriya or by Chanda. It takes quite Viriya and effort and patience to be done, or very easily with Chanda. Can one cook like a chef? For someone, it's so very easy, but for someone, it's very difficult, depending on conditions. And Viriya and Chanda. So now, while listening to the truth, is it Viriya or Chanda more than the other? Can it be known?
Yes, it's coming.
Or they are there together, same level, same degree? That's why it's not just estimate or just think about it, but understanding it as it is. Very little or very strong. It's done easily or it's done with Vriya or great patience, see? No matter what. Any moment in life. There is Chanda to understand the meaning, or it doesn't matter at all. When what is not that prominent, can we call it something or some word different from the way it is not so prominent? Or is it wrong to use this word, or is it right to use this word? The truth is that it's there. So much different in a moment, from moment to moment. That's why what can be learned is only when it appears as it is. Not try to measure it. Nobody can change the way it is, the strength of it. But it's not a matter just to try to know. Chanda with akusala, wanting, just craving, no understanding of that very moment, what is there. There is Chanda as well at that moment, but one wants to know other thing, not that moment, about Chanda there. So one can see the trap of lopa, see, all around. Even we talk about Chanda and Virya, and they are there. Can it be known one at a time? Depending on conditions, see. And when it's there, no word, because it appears as it is. No doubt. No estimation at all. It's there. Experience. Show up. And this is a moment of letting go. Attachment to something with chanda, with attachment to know this or that, which is not now. If there's not letting go, desire or attachment, can there be moment of beginning to attend to the characteristic of what is there now? In order to understand what degree of what we are seeking for is there to be known. And this is the path, the noble path, the noble, the subtle, noble subtle path, or subtle noble path. See? So subtle, noble path. That's why all for Ariya Satya is so very deep, very subtle. There has to be understanding of different degrees by way of intellectual understanding. So skillful, which can condition moment of directly understand what is there, little by little. And right understanding knows how much is there or how very little is there, but it is beginning, the beginning of the growth of understanding. At moment of moving, stretching out the hand, chanda is there, but it does not appear. So it's not time to understand chanda, but to understand what is there, which is not known, as that which experiences the object. And what object is there? No selection, no thought about it, no finding out, because it's there, whether it's known or unknown. So is there any reality at moment of stretching one's hand? Many realities are there. by word or intellect understanding. What is there? See, if one tries so hard to experience it, it's right or wrong. What is there? Chanda and Loba is there. But what is there can be known. It's time to understanding it because it's there appearing. Like in a day, what appears? Object of seeing all the time when one is awakened. So what can be known or try to understand what is there at moment of stretching out the hand. And understanding that even understanding is not I or mine. It's just a reality to let go what is there as not anyone at all. Little by little.
So Achaan, you just mentioned about the goal, the Iddhipada. So is the goal is the right understanding, and right understanding will lead Chanda as the level of Chantipada, right?
Are you still interested in Iddhipada?
Yes.
What is there now? Is it any Iddhipada?
Not as, I think not as the level of Iddhipada yet.
So what is Iddhipada? What?
They are Chantipada
What for?
for enlightenment, for the goal of enlightenment, right?
So now, without Iddhipada, can there be the attainment or realization of what is there now?
No,
So,
Achaan.
enlighten what? See,
Enlighten the truth now, Achaan, the reality now.
so is it time to realize the truth?
Not yet.
Or just think about the term or
Yes.
the reality? At moment of thinking in words about anything, is it the moment of understanding what is there as it is? So what is Iddhipada? Not just wanting to understand the word, but to understand that Chanda develops on and on with right understanding to understand what is there now. That is the realization, the Four Noble Truth. Without understanding that what is there to be realized, we think a lot about other things. But it's there little by little. Chanda is there. Is it strong enough to be Iddhipada?
Not now, Achaan.
Without understanding, can it be Iddhipada?
No, Achaan.
Without even just a little understanding or more understanding, can it be Iddhipada?
Yes, I think more understanding will be lead to Iddhipada.
What level?
I don't know, Achaan.
Say, I don't know. So how can it be Iddhipada? So understanding develops until it is itipada. By then, no doubt about what is itipada. So it begins at moment of understanding what is there now. This is the beginning to be itipada. Even no matter how long we talk about it, but no understanding of this moment, can it be itipada? But understand the truth of what is there now. There is chanda. Even chanda is not known. Does it appear, chanda? Or what appears now and is not known yet? So how can chanda be known? And this is the only way to let go. Attachment, craving, wishing to have such and such reality. But it cannot be succeeded with attachment. If there's no understanding of the truth of what is said now, can it be a moment of realization, the Four Noble Path, the Four Noble Truth?
No, Achaan.
So just listen and understanding a little more of what is there until it appears. No doubt about it, because there is understanding of it as foundation to understand what is there as it is.
Achaan.
Is there chanda now?
Yes, I think so, but it's unknown, Achaan.
Is there viriya now?
Yes, because
Itipata or atipati?
I think it's adipati.
Really?
I'm not sure, Achaan.
So if we just thinking and thinking about it, can there be a moment of being sure?
Yes, I think listening more and considering more
Really?
at the moment of sure. I think the more understanding
Until understanding develops,
develop.
or a little more understanding of the truth, just a little more. Each moment developing, no one there at all. When there's no panya, it cannot be itipada. So it's time now.
Appreciate your sharing.
Thank you so
Achaan.
much, Achaan and John and Sarah.
Thank you so much,
Achaan and
Thank you,
Sarah.
Hai.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tiny
See you
Tom.
next
Thank you,
time.
Han.
สวัสดีค่ะ Achaan.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It went quite well, isn't it?
Oh, good, good.
Tất cả mọi người.
We weren't talking too quickly for you, or everyone managed all right?
Yes, I think
Wow,
it went well. Yes, no problem
That's
at all.
amazing.
Very good
So
for the
you-
first one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Technically, it was also very smooth, so we're very
Yes.
glad.
That's great. Okay.
Easier
Yes.
than
So
the stop and start all the time.
Yes.
Right. Amazing.
Thank you. Cả nhà mình.
Right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Dạ. Xin
Cảm
chào cả
ơn.
nhà. Bye bye.
Chị Tâm định nói gì ạ?
Chị
Không
định
biết
hỏi
là-
bên tiếng Việt là mọi người
Dạ.
người bên tiếng Việt cũng nghe tốt đúng không? Chắc là
và
vậy.
hỏi xem là ai có câu hỏi gì liên quan đến nghệ thuật thì có trả lời luôn không? Nhân tiện đang mở Zoom ấy ạ.
Mọi người
À.
bên tiếng Việt đều nghe tốt đúng không ạ?
Dạ, nghe rất là rõ.
Thanh Tâm
Tuyệt
vừa
vời.
hỏi gì nhỉ?
Cảm ơn
Dạ.
tổ dịch nữa nha.
Dạ.
Bảo là có ai có vấn đề gì không hay có trục trặc gì thì có thể giải quyết luôn khi đang mở Zoom ấy.
Dạ.
Xin
Em thì
Okay, em chỉ có hỏi một cái là cái đoạn mà tại sao phải nói vào English channel mà tại sao không phải là main audio ấy ạ? Bởi vì là em thấy chị Tâm lúc nói main audio em vẫn nghe được mà.
Dạ, chị toàn nói vào English channel đấy chứ.
Nhưng Hằng thì nói vào main audio và em nghe được đúng không? Xong đó thì em dịch sang thì mọi người cũng chỉ nghe tiếng em chứ mọi người nghe tiếng Hằng rất là nhỏ và ở bên Achaan vẫn nghe được cái tiếng Hằng mà nhỉ? Nên em không biết là thực ra là ví dụ người nói tiếng Anh không cần thiết phải vào English channel.
Mọi người có thể vào main audio vẫn được ạ?
Dạ, cứ nghĩ nói bình thường là vẫn được ạ.
Thì mọi người sẽ nghe.
Mọi người vẫn nghe được nhưng mà mọi người vẫn nghe nhưng mà nó không quan trọng khi mà nếu mà mình nói vào main audio ấy, mà khi mọi người tắt cái chức năng là nghe dịch thì mọi người vẫn nghe được. Còn mọi người dùng cái chức năng nghe dịch thì mọi người chọn cái tiếng nào thì cái tiếng phiên dịch nó sẽ đè lên cái tiếng của main audio.
Nhưng mà tại vì lúc đầu các bác không nghe được. Lúc đầu không hiểu sao các bác không nghe được.
Nhưng về sau thì em
nhé. Mọi người
vâng, nhưng em thấy về sau thì em thấy Hằng nói ở main audio vẫn ok mà nhỉ? Đúng không?
Không hiểu được. Chị xin lỗi, chị phải ra trước nhé.
Ok, dạ vâng. Em nghĩ như vậy thì hoặc là nếu không thì lần sau cứ để vào cái English channel. Nếu mà nói vào English channel thì người phiên dịch kia sẽ không nghe thấy. Thì đấy là cái điểm bất lợi của nó thôi. Còn cái điểm lợi của nó thì thì mình chắc chắn khi mình vào cái English channel. Hằng có phải chuyển khi mà Hằng nói không? Hay Hằng vẫn dùng cái main audio?
Mình vẫn dùng main audio.
Đúng rồi, mình cũng vẫn dùng như thế và mình dùng. Thế mình nghĩ là chắc là vẫn nói main audio là ok. Bởi vì Achaan vẫn nghe được cậu.
Bởi vì mình cái câu hỏi của chị Tâm thì đến lúc mà nếu mà mình có câu trả lời dịch thì mình sẽ không biết câu hỏi.
Đúng rồi. Mình nghĩ là chắc là cái người nói không cần phải nói vào English channel đâu, bởi vì kể cả các Achaan và mọi người cũng không nói bằng English channel á. Mọi người nghe từ English channel nhưng nói thì không phải làm gì hết. Đó, ok, thank you. Thank you Phương Em.
Cảm ơn tổ dịch.
Bye bye.
Alo, cho mình hỏi một chút được không?
Dạ vâng ạ.
Những cái mà Hải nói là chỉ có main audio hay là English channel thì nó ở đâu ấy? Mình không hiểu một cái gì cả. Thứ hai là mình nghe tiếng Anh ấy thì thấy là hình như có mỗi chị Hằng nói rồi đúng không? Thế còn không biết là có ai đặt câu hỏi khác hay thì có như là
đúng
chỉ
rồi.
thấy có
hôm nay chỉ
mỗi
có
bà với lại
thôi.
các anh.
Đúng rồi, hôm nay chỉ có
ông
mỗi
bà
chị Hằng
nói
hỏi.
thôi còn
Đúng rồi, hôm nay không có ai hỏi, không có ai nói gì cả ngoài chị Hằng hỏi, ngoài chị Hằng. Thế đấy là cái đầu tiên. Còn cái thứ hai mọi người nói là nói vào cái gì thì cái quả địa cầu ấy, cái quả địa cầu cái quả địa cầu An Lê có nhìn thấy nhưng mà bây giờ lại tắt chức năng dịch rồi, nên là cũng không nhìn ra được. Nhưng mà ở cái quả địa cầu á, là nó sẽ có cái chữ đấy, nhưng bản chất thì cái chỗ
có quả địa cầu ở đâu. Vâng.
Dạ. Bye Quân em. Ở chỗ đó thì nó sẽ thực ra nó chỉ có cái chức năng là listening in chứ nó không có chức năng là speaking in, nên là nó không có thay đổi, nó chỉ thay đổi
thì tức là tóm lại là hôm nay thì có mỗi chị Hằng nói thì
đúng rồi, hôm nay chỉ có
còn địa cầu thì nó ở phía dưới đấy à?
Đúng rồi,
có phải
đúng
ở
rồi.
Cạnh chat với lại
đúng rồi.
Nếu mình nó sẽ xuất hiện ở đấy đúng không?
Đúng rồi, chính xác ạ. Nếu mình dùng máy tính là nó ở đấy ạ. Ok, dạ.
Vâng.
Hôm nay chắc là mọi người cũng đi ra hết rồi nhỉ? Có 1-2 người không vào được thì chắc là đã ok.
Lúc nãy em thấy có bạn Bình hay là anh Bình
Em host ở trên cái live nhỉ?
Em
À,
Ý
bởi
à?
vì mọi người
stop
không biết
rồi.
cái số
Live
audio
nó vẫn
mới
đang
của
hay
mình
sao?
thôi.
Live vẫn còn à? À để tắt.
Sao ạ?